You're watching the MWHS Wildcat News, the official news source of Millard West, with Cole Filer and Madeline Augustine.
On this week's edition, we'll cover
the drama program's Cabaret show,
Toddler Day,
engineering class projects,
2 cheerleaders competing nationally. Welcome back, I'm Cole Filer.
And I'm Madeline Augustine. Last Tuesday, February 26th, the Millard West drama program held a cabaret show, allowing students to showcase their talents in a wide array of productions. Edison Geiler and Kirsten Watkins bring you this story.
After being pushed back because of a snowstorm, the Millard West Drama Department showcased their first ever cabaret show in the Black Box on February 26th. This was the first time students were able to direct and put on a production at West, making for a new experience for 3 seniors, Brandon Evans, Medj Nuara, and Brianna Mack.
We went to State Thespian Festival, and then when the officers were driving back with Ms. Phillips, she was like, I have this great idea. We should do a cabaret. It'd be so fun, and all this stuff. And us as the students were like, that's such a great idea, because there's so many people in our department who audition for things all the time, but like don't get the opportunity to do it.
Each student director had their own section of the show to direct, separated by colors. Starting off the show, Evans oversaw the red portion, Nuara directed the blue middle section, and finally, Mack was in charge of the yellow scenes.
Every single color and every diamond.
Every section featured acting scenes, musical numbers, and monologues that all the cast was a part of. The rehearsal process was much different than other productions during the year, seeing as the directors had their own vision of how the show would turn out.
We were changing things throughout the whole process, not only the directors, but also if the actors had something, we could bring it up with our directors because they were our peers and like discuss that with them, which is definitely a change of pace compared to our normal rehearsal.
Oh, you don't mean that, huh? Yes, I do. And if you ever listen to me, even just once.
Since their last drama season is nearing its end, the directors were incredibly thankful to be able to have the special opportunity to be in charge of such a unique experience.
I felt like it was something that made me special, and being able to say, oh, I directed the student cabaret with 3 other amazing people was special. And sharing it with Brianna Mack, Brandon Evans, and Melody Keys, it was like a really good friends of mine. It was really fun and overall good experience.
The primary colors were also an essential aspect of cabaret, being utilized for all of lighting, set, and costumes. However, it was not only used for spectacle. Each color was representative of a different emotion that linked together each group of scenes.
Red was passion, blue was sadness, and yellow was happiness. When the directors gave us their ideas, they said we were going to try to show a range of human emotion expressed via color through like a rotating pattern, which I thought was really cool, and that's what the directors told us.
Despite some hiccups in the rehearsal schedule in the week leading up to the performance, both the cast and crew felt it was a first successful cabaret show. Though the department does not currently have any concrete plans to repeat this exact style of production in future years, there is a possibility that a form of a student-directed show will return. And a special congratulations to the Millard West Catalyst Editor-in-Chief Sydney Looney for her performance in the show. This has been Eddie Geiler and Kirsten Watkins with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Last Thursday, February 28th, child development students were given extra credit for bringing in toddlers to class. Taylor Hoffbauer and Brianna Treader give you an inside look.
On February 28th, FCS teacher Elizabeth Casey's child development class hosted Toddler Day. The objective of Toddler Day is to create a cohesive and fun learning environment that allows the children and students to connect. The days leading up to Toddler Day, students spent their class time developing lesson plans and learning activities for the children. The activities ranged from educational games to art projects to obstacle courses. The children were able to visit each station at their leisure and challenge their minds while having a good time.
The purpose of Toddler Day is for the high school students to apply what they've learned in class about how toddlers learn and develop to real life when the toddlers come into class and interact with them.
Students were given the option to bring a toddler or not. Those who opted out were still expected to be engaged with the children and participate in class.
I did want to bring a toddler, but I didn't want to take them out of their daily routine to disturb what they normally do. Because I didn't have a kid, I helped around at other stations and interacted with the toddlers.
The experience was different for those who did bring a child. Not only were they expected to prepare an activity, they also had an obligation to ensure that their child had an unforgettable experience.
My favorite part about Toddler Day is how different like their brains work compared to mine, and like how it's cute watching their little fingers like try and do stuff that's so easy for me to do and they can't do it yet.
Through child development, students are offered knowledge of the physical, emotional, and mental growth of children from pregnancy until the age of 5.
Child development is a great class in order for you to learn how children develop. If you're interested in working with young people, kids, teenagers, and if you want to be a parent someday, to help you to better understand how to raise your own child, and if nothing else, for you to better understand who you are as a person and how you came to be the person that you are.
Although Toddler Day plays a big part in attracting students to take child development, many have other reasons as to why they choose to take the class.
I chose to take child development because I love kids, so obviously since the class had child in the name, I couldn't not take it.
Taking part in Toddler Day is more than taking a break from class and having a good time. It is an opportunity for students to learn and interact with children. This has been Taylor Hoffbauer and Brianna Tretter with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Last Wednesday, February 27th, engineering students were tasked with providing solutions to a variety of different problems. Savannah Kleitz and Tenley Wright report.
On Tuesday, February 26th, engineering students were given the task of researching and creating presentations for problems that people face daily.
Well, the projects in and of themselves are a deep dive into the design process. It's all about the design process, the steps of the design process, and it's really about students engaging in a complete learning process from initial design or idea conception all the way through physically creating something that they would then take to a company and attempt to prototype and actually profit from. So students get a full gamut of the experience.
The assignment included conducting a survey and contacting outside sources in order to get the feedback and information needed for the presentations.
Our particular project had 4 contacts, external contacts, so yeah, we had to contact them, basically get their feedback on our presentation and our ideas, basically. And they gave us additional ideas to add to the presentation, and we can use their ideas going forward.
Students use the information from their research to identify possible solutions to the problems they chose.
So people with muscular disorders and elderly people have problems standing up, and so what we wanted to do is fix that problem, and so we're trying to create something that will lift them up out of a chair that is portable.
The class spent half the semester diving into and putting their project together.
So for the presentations, we spend about the first 5 weeks of 3rd semester just initially trying to come up with really good problem statements, design statements, and then creating the research that justifies them as problems. So they're not just, hey, we think this is a problem, we're an expert and we know this is truly a problem.
They spent lots of time both inside and outside of the class, making sure their presentations were the best they could be.
Well, obviously we had to put together the presentation, but other than that, we had to practice our presentation, make sure everything was good, ready to go, make sure we knew our parts, make sure we were experts on our slides, and that we knew all the information basically that was going into that.
In the next step of their projects, students will create a solution to the problem they presented.
Well, all we did today was a project proposal. We're proposing this idea. Now we're actually to the step where we want to actually try to solve the problem. We are truly going to take what their research tells us and we will try to come up with a solution to the problem. Something that we can physically make and take to people and say, hey, would this work, yes or no?
This has been Savannah Kleitz
and Tenley Wright with the MWHS Wildcat News.
2 extremely talented freshman cheerleaders are taking their expertise to the next level by competing nationally. Ellie Hahn and Jasmine Hermosillo Padilla give you the story.
Katie Hahn and Sofia Vasquez are both nationally competitive all-star cheerleaders at Cheer Express.
My team is a extra small co-ed level 5 team named COEX, which means we have 2 boys and 11 girls. And then my other team is Junior X, which is a junior level 5 all girls, so it's just all girls.
With being on a Worlds team, the girls practice in Lincoln 3 times a week for 2 hours.
Being on a Worlds team is challenging, but is also very fun.
With being on a Worlds team, more is expected out of the athletes as they have had to get more skills with tumbling and stunting.
Some of the required skills for making a level 5 team would be experience, obviously, in tumbling and stunting. Prior to that, with having to do level 5 stunting, you really need to have done lower levels first to learn the different techniques and skills in stunting, but also in tumbling there are skills such as doing jumps connected to a back tuck and doing twisting skills in running tumbling, as well as standing tumbling like back handsprings to a full.
All the time and dedication that the girls spend at the gym practicing has shown their coaches who they are.
Sophia is a very hard worker, and she's very determined to go after those goals and get new tumbling skills. Katie is a very positive, happy team member as well, and always really nice to everybody, and I love that she is very mentally tough and brings that to practices.
ABKC, JAMS, 1UP, and NCA are some of the competitions they will be at this season to help them to work towards their final competition, Worlds.
The biggest competition for level 5 teams would be the Cheerleading World Championships in Orlando, just because that is the end goal that most teams are working towards, and you have to qualify for it.
COEX will have many opportunities at their competitions to hopefully get a paid Worlds bid. This has been Ellie Hahn and Jasmine Hermosillo Padilla with the MWHS Wildcat News.
That's it for this week, Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at MWHS Catalyst.
And for more stories, check out our website at millardwestcatalyst.com.
See you next time, Wildcats.